Welcome back to Startup Street. We now put the spotlight on Safe Security, a John Chambers, Rajan Anandan and BT Group investee, cybersecurity and digital business risk quantification company. Safe Security digitally secures global clientele such as the ICICI Bank, Tata Consumer Products, Molina Healthcare, Munich Re, News Corp, Pidilite, among many others. The brand has also provided security services with the National Payments Council of India, Google and Facebook. The venture has now got on board Michael Johnson, who's the Chief Information Security Officer, Meta's FinTech unit Novi, and a veteran from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the White House, the USA Department of Energy and more. To talk about the road ahead, joining me now is Saket Modi, co-founder and CEO of Safe Security, and board member Michael Johnson. Gentlemen, welcome to Startup Street. Michael, let me first start with you. You've spent the last 3 decades trying to move the needle of cyber risk quantification from qualitative to quantitative. Tell me what made you bet big on Safe Security? What synergies did you see, and that you're now on board?
Great. Yeah, thank you for that question. So, cyber represents a real trust issue for most organizations, and cyber threats are continuing to grow in frequency and sophistication. I spent most of my career trying to develop equivalent capabilities to what Safe Security has developed, which is to say quantitative risk-based computations that allow us to manage risk in real time. And I was super impressed by not only what Safe Security provides from a technical point of view, but the leadership team and all that goes into what they're doing. So it's really that contextual real-time quantification of cyber risk that's an absolute imperative for all companies now, and Safe is really delivering that.
Picking up from what Michael just said, cybersecurity has become a boardroom concern globally. Saket, first tell us how are you solving this for your clients and what's unique about your offering? Also, if you could give me some use cases on how all pervasive cybersecurity is or how invasive the lack of it is.
Shruti, first of all, like always, it's such a pleasure to be with you on the show. So thank you for having me and Michael here. Coming to your question about what we think about cyber, we think cybersecurity is broken because of 3 reasons. The first reason is that it's very, very isolated. Today, when you look at a firewall, it tells you how secure your network is. When you look at an EDR or an antivirus, it tells you how secure your endpoints are. If you look at a cloud security tool, it only tells you cloud security, and the list really is endless. Today, any Fortune 2000 CISO typically has anywhere between 25 to 50 cybersecurity products, and they're not talking to each other. That's the first problem, very, very isolated. The second problem of cybersecurity is very reactive. Most of spend, most of issues which get addressed happens as a reaction response to breaches which are publicly disclosed or are spoken about. In fact, the most popular tools like this SIEM or the SOC that most large companies run are really responding and predicting and providing, the incidents which occur after it has already happened, but not predictively telling you what is the probability of an incident to occur in your environment. And the last piece is most cybersecurity products do not really talk the language of the business, because when you go to the board and talk about things like, how many malware vulnerabilities are out there, that the board really doesn't understand. That's what we help companies do, where we integrate signals from your various security products using APIs, put that into some sound data science principles that we've co-developed with MIT, and using that, not only do we quantify the risk that you're sitting on along with giving actionable insights, but also provide the dollar value risk that the company is sitting on.
All right, Saket, thank you for taking us through the offerings. But Michael, coming back to you, as the explosion of data continues unabated, the attack surface obviously increases as well. So how do you see cybersecurity and data science come together?
Yeah, so it really comes down to IT management best practices, understanding your environment, understanding the assets you have, what's at risk, what's most important to be protected, and then really quantifying that risk so that you can burn down what the risk is that your company faces and do it in a way that's well managed. The key to that, of course, is that quantification of risk and being able to communicate, as Saket talked about, to all the stakeholders, whether it be the executives that run the company, the board of directors, all the way to include regulators if you're a regulated industry, so that you can show that you're within the risk appetite that that company is operating within and or managing to it in a consistent way.
All right, let's now talk about Safe Security's operations. Saket, if you could take me through the growth numbers of Safe Security over the last 1 year. Also, with the inception of Web 3.0, what new trends do you see going forward, and how does it drive your growth?
Shruti, we've been one of those very fortunate companies. Despite the pandemic, we've been on the fortunate side of what we've seen as an impact to our business. Last year was great for us. Our total order bookings in terms of our customers around the world actually grew by 340%. Our net retentions north of 110%, gross retentions 92%, NPS is 86. During the time of Great Resignation, our attrition has been less than 6%. So all I can say is we've been very fortunate with how businesses spanned, especially the last 12 months for us. With the new Web 3.0 developments that are coming up, I think it's very, very exciting times for all of the internet, because it's a new way of looking at how do you not only see and browse and access the internet, but also how you develop applications on how the internet works.
All right, so exciting times ahead, like you said. And Saket, great numbers there. Order bookings have grown by 340%. Michael, coming to you now, it's a data-backed fact that COVID has increased digitization, which in turn has increased the risk of cybersecurity. But do you see this leading to cyber insurance becoming a mandate across geographies, especially and initially, in high-risk industries such as healthcare and social security?
Yeah, I think that, Shruti, I'd say that it already is. If you look at highly regulated industries, especially like banking, financial services broadly, to include the insurance, medical industries, they all basically require cyber insurance because it's one of the basic ways in which you can do risk transference as it relates to expenses associated with a potential breach, et cetera. So yeah, I would say that that is going to be a mandate that expands beyond those core industries that are currently highly regulated.
All right, Michael and Saket, we've completely run out of time. Wish you the very best with all your plans at Safe Security. Many thanks for joining us on the show today. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. We will continue to track all the action on India's startup front right here on Startup Street.